Good morning, Fab Foodies. Apparently, Thursday mornings, my Wi-Fi just decides that it's not going to work. So I tried 3 times, didn't work. I had to reset the modem, but here we are. Oh, Wi-Fi, technology, thunderstorms, wind, you know, all the usual. Good morning. I thought I would share another breakfast. I know my crowd likes when I do breakfasts. Breakfast is one of those ones where sometimes people are looking for some new ideas. So I am going to share a new breakfast with you today. So like the title says, waste not, want not, French toast. So I'm actually going to be using up sad bananas and this bag of bread ends that most people probably have in their freezer, waiting desperately, destined for breadcrumbs or stuffing or nothing. So today I'm going to use these. So the first thing I'm actually going to make is the chia jam, because it does take a few minutes once you've cooked it to set up. I have 2 cups of frozen fruit. You can choose whatever kind of fruit you like. Today I'm making dark sweet cherry jam because I happen to have them in the freezer. Strawberry and raspberry is a big hit around this house. The mixed berry blend, so blackberry, blueberry, raspberry. The girls like that one too. Paul likes just straight up raspberry or straight up strawberry. The only warning I will give with the lighter colored fruit, so strawberry and raspberry and peach, chia seeds are black, so they will show up in the lighter colored fruit jam. So if you have picky people or texture folks, Danielle, if you're watching out there, I'm talking about Noah, the chia seeds are easier to see in the lighter colored jam, so they may not be, you may not trick your picky people on the first round. Chia jam is something to get used to as you go. But it is something that is a great way to cut out refined sugar. It's something that's really easy to make at home with very basic ingredients and not a lot of effort. I am using the rectangular steamer this morning. If you don't happen to have steamers, you can make chia jam on the stovetop in a saucepan as well. So it takes a little bit longer on the saucepan, and you are likely going to need to add a little bit of liquid. That is why this rectangular steamer is one of my favorite things, is that besides the squeeze of lemon juice that I'm adding, you don't really need to add a lot more liquid, where if you're simmering it on the stove, you will need more liquid, just as an FYI. So 2 cups of frozen fruit. We're gonna do a squeeze of lemon juice. Lemon juice just helps, it's sort of almost like a preservative, I guess. The acid helps bring out the flavor in the fruit. And it is a little bit of extra liquid for the chia seeds. Chia seeds can absorb, I think it's like 10 times their volume in liquid, and that's why they gel. So when you add chia seeds, so they're one of the few seeds that it's maybe not a good idea to soak before you use them, because they're just gonna go and expand and get all jelly and jiggly. They're actually, they're called a mucilaginous food. It's a fun word, and let me tell you, when I learned that one in my culinary nutrition class, I was like, what it means is that it has that jelly mucus-like texture on the outside, but it's actually really, really, really good for your digestive health, because the buildup of the mucus that you create in your digestive system actually slows your digestive system and makes it harder for you to assimilate and absorb the food that you're trying to digest. Bless you. Where if you give your digestive system mucilaginous foods with their own gel-like texture, they actually help bind to extra mucus in your digestive system and move it through. So chia seeds are great for that. They're also high in omega-3s. They're great for your brain. They do have protein. So they're a powerhouse food. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of them. Just kind of spread them around. And then give it a little quick, I know my brother-in-law Scott's watching, so I'm going to use this word and he's going to laugh. Give them a quick toss. in Scotland, that doesn't mean what it means here. That's why I'm hoping he's laughing and enjoying that. And then throw them in the microwave for 4 minutes. Lid off on the steamer. If you put the lid on, you will have a massive explosion. Because the way that the steamers work, the lid holds the steam in, all the liquid is going to blow out everywhere. We actually want the liquid from the lemon juice and the liquid from the cherries to kind of bubble around and mix with the chia seeds so that we can get that nice jam texture. So while that is cooking, I'm going to get the French toast ready. So I'm using a sad banana because why not use up sad bananas? We're gonna mash it. I'm gonna throw in 4 eggs because there are 4 children. General rule is 1 egg per kid. They're actually really massive eggs because we get them from the farm. There are 4 eggs, this is probably equivalent to about 5. Basically, go by number of people you hope to feed with what you're creating and use that many eggs. 1 banana, sad. The sadder the banana, the sweeter it is, just so you know. So the longer it sits, the blacker the skin gets, the more the carbohydrates in the banana have broken down, and the sweeter and sweeter it gets. So because of that, we're not likely going to need to add any other kind of sweetener to this. We are going to crack in our eggs. Like, see the size of this thing. This is, I mean, this is my hand. I'm a grown-up. This is a pretty big egg. If you hold it next to our half lemon. So if you're using smaller grocery store eggs, then you may want to up the number. But if you're using Beastie Farm eggs like this, the 4 that I have left is going to be enough. So crack them in. It's a double yolker even, that's why it's so big. I suspect this one is going to be as well. Yep. So our farm, again, they have been insanely busy in this pandemic like everybody else. And people seem to forget that it's an actual living chicken that lays an egg, and she can only lay 1 a day. And so they've had to actually put a sign up at the farm that says, our chickens only lay 1 egg a day. Can you please respect our limits? They just can't keep up. Clearly, they have also brought in a whole new brood of new layers. Double yolkers are usually a sign that they are young adolescent chickens. Their hormones are still working themselves out, and so you often get the double yolk eggs from young chickens. It is not a radioactive spill or anything to be concerned about. It just means that the farm you're getting your eggs from might have a bunch of new layers. But because we buy the jumbo size, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to be double yolkers because they're separated by weight. In order to reach the jumbo weight, it is very likely that we're getting a lot of the eggs from the new adolescent layers with the double yolks in them. I also used to believe that it was good luck. I've had so many double yolkers in the last while, maybe it is, I don't know. So, eggs in. Sorry about that. I forgot to set my do not disturb and I am live and someone is calling me. So after you've got your eggs in there, we've got the sad banana, the 4 to 5 eggs, 1 egg per person that you're feeding. A 1/4 cup of milk or cream or non-dairy milk, whatever you prefer. Girls, remember that the camera is still on. Can you shush, please? Yes, it's in the dishwasher. It's clean. Ask someone to help you. I'm going to add a little bit of apple pie spice. You can use your favorite seasoning if it's cloves or cinnamon or none at all. I know if my brother-in-law is still watching out there, in Scotland, French toast is often a savory dish. Paul eats it with ketchup. So if you want to make it savory, then don't add in cinnamon. But I'm going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, well, apple pie spice. It's a mix. Girls, it's getting louder and louder in here. Mommy is still trying to work.
Okay.
Yeah, shush please. We're gonna mix everything together. So scramble the eggs with the sad banana. If you wanted, at this stage, you could also throw in a serving of your favorite protein powder. My 4 massive, giant, jumbo double yolk eggs is probably plenty of protein because this is going to be the girls' second breakfast. maybe even the third. So we have our eggs and cinnamon, our milk, sad bananas. We're going to then fill the bottom of the multi-purpose steamer. So this is the bigger steamer. This is like your family size. This is my favorite thing of life. I have two. One is currently in the dishwasher. Yes, it's dishwasher safe. I made spaghetti in this last night. So you can boil pasta, you can make rice, quinoa, all kinds of side dishes. You can cook an entire roast chicken in here in about 22 minutes in the microwave. It is food grade silicone. It is not plastic. It is not plastic. People love this thing because it's not plastic. So if you've been watching me long enough, you know that I love my steamers. You love that I use them in the microwave. The microwave is not as scary as we used to think it is, but if you are not a microwave cook, then I am not here to change your mind. You can also use your favorite Corningware dish, Winston, or you can use this in the oven. So the time savings we're going to get today while I am live is because I'm using it in the microwave. But these are oven safe as well, so you can use them like Corningware if you wanted. They are almost identical in chemical makeup to Corningware. Corningware, I guess, is porcelain, so it's not quite glass. But silicone is the same chemical makeup as glass. It is slightly different bonds so that you either get a solid in glass or a flexible food grade silicone. Either way, it's still silicone, silica, and oxygen, which gives you glass and or silicone. So there's your chemistry lesson for the morning. So we're going to fill the bottom with approximately 2 cups of sad, destined for who knows what, bread ends from the freezer. So I keep them cut in cubes already so that when I need them for stuffing or breadcrumbs or whatever, I don't have to wait for them to completely defrost and get stale again before I can cut them. They're already cut, so it's like, oh, we're having stuffing tonight. And yes, every night can be stuffing night when you have a steamer, by the way, because if you decide with your barbecue chicken breast that you want to also make stuffing, you can throw 2 cups of sad bread ends into your steamer with some chicken broth, some chopped up celery, and throw them in the microwave and also make some stuffing right then. But it's not dinner, it's breakfast. So we're using this for other things. So approximately 2 cups will cover the bottom of the steamer. And then all we're gonna do, once that's in there, is throw in our scrambled eggs and sad banana mix so that it covers and coats all of your sad bits of bread as well. You want to give it a good stir so that all of the bread is wet with the sloppy, gooey, delicious egg mix. These are all very highly scientific culinary nutrition terms. Sloppy, gooey egg stuff. Then, for this one, we are going to put the lid on. With the steamers, you want the steam holes opposite to the handles. Make sure it's on there tight. We're going to take the fruit out, throw this in. Generally, I say 1 minute per egg that you're cooking, but it's not just eggs that we're cooking. It's actually eggs and the bread and the banana. So I'm going to give it about 6 minutes. I'm going to throw the fruit into my container here. So my trick for chia jam, once the fruit is cooked, it's nice and squishy, I'm actually going to blast it with a hand blender. You can use just a fruit masher or a potato masher, but I find, especially if you are just starting out making chia jam and working on converting people from super sugary store-bought jam, that blasting it with the hand blender, it's gonna get noisy for a second. a more recognizable texture for those who might otherwise not be familiar with chia jam. So if you're used to store-bought jam, this is nothing like that. So it's a slow transition. If you've grown up your whole life with like Smucker's strawberry jam, Isabel, people can hear you and they can't hear me. Stop, please. The longer I go, the more they forget that there are other things in the world besides them. So if you are wanting to switch to serving chia jam because you're looking to cut out sugar or whatever, it will be a process to transition from something like Smucker's to a chia jam, simply because the texture is not the same as processed food. If you make your own jam, you can your own jam. Again, it's slightly different because we're using the chia as the binder instead of pectin. This is a fridge jam. You can't can this. Part of the reason you add pectin to canned jam is that pectin is a natural preservative. It's actually found in apples. It's also great for digestive health, but you have to use organic pectin. So not just the crappy dissolvable stuff that you can buy in any grocery store. It doesn't have the same value for your digestive system. So what you could do with chia jam, if you were trying to add a little bit of a natural preservative, is use a little bit of applesauce. That might also actually add you a little bit of extra sweet. If you're trying to convince someone who's never had chia jam to switch to it, you may also want to use a little bit of a sweetener. So if you wanted, you could add something like the summerberry sweet dip mix. A teaspoon of that. You could throw in a little bit of raw honey or pure maple syrup as your added little bit of extra sweet as your taste buds adjust from the even Nona's or Nana's or Grandma's traditional canned strawberry jam recipe. Probably calls for something like 4 or 5 cups of refined white sugar. So weaning yourself off of that onto something like chia jam, it will be a process. Trust the process. If you are committed to cutting out refined sugar and you want to try something like that, definitely do it. It's worth the effort. Sugar is funny. Sugar is a cheap preservative, a cheap filler. That's 2 reasons why you find it in a lot of processed food. But it is also one of the few foods that it's not just your tongue that gets you excited when you eat sweet food. Sugar actually triggers receptors in your brain as well. So when people say they're addicted to sugar, they're not joking. It has a very similar pattern to addictive substances like cocaine and heroin when you watch your brain's response on sugar, which is why it is one of the hardest to kick. Salt takes a couple of days, and once you start eliminating salt from your cooking and your diet, your tongue can recover and you can start to taste the actual flavor of food without the salt. Sugar takes a lot longer. You have to actually wean your whole body off of it and not just the taste receptors in your tongue. So give yourself grace and patience if you are working on cutting down on sugar. It will be a process, but I promise you it is worth it. Again, if you've watched me long enough, you will have heard me say that fat is my friend, fat is good. Fat is not what's making us fat, sugar is what's making us fat. And so if you are looking to get rid of sugar in your diet, I highly recommend that you give it a try because it is a totally worthwhile endeavor. But it will take time, so have patience with yourself and let the process happen. So here we are. You can even see the chia has started to gel. It does take about 15 minutes, and at this point, I've probably been talking for at least 10. So we have, the jam has started to gel in here, and you can see that there. I'm gonna move it into a more jam appropriate receptacle than my shaker cup for a smoothie. I use the shaker cup because it's tall and skinny and it works really well with the hand mixer. If anybody out there in Facebook land who's watching has a better solution, Karen Brown, I'm looking at you, Tupperware lady. for a tall, skinny container that's great for using an immersion blender. I am all ears. I have found that the immersion blender doesn't fit into the jar, which is the main issue. I would gladly just go in this jam jar here, but I can't get the immersion blender in there. And if I use a container that is too wide, then my liquid isn't deep enough and the immersion blender doesn't work. So anybody out there in Facebook land who's watching, if you have a better solution for tall, skinny immersion blender thing, because yes, this is a very old immersion blender, didn't come with one. I know there are ones out on the market now. They probably come with the great tall stand-up thing. It works. Why would I go buy a new one just to get that thing? I mean, I could just buy the new thing, right? I have to wash my hands. I'll be right back. I also hear that we have beeped, so we are going to check our French toast. Again, when you're opening the steamers, try and keep the vents pointed away. Ooh, it looks sort of like French toast in there. I might give it another minute. I'm just going to give it a quick check here. See if the egg is cooked through. Oh no, we're good. We're good, folks. The egg is cooked through. So you can see it kind of looks like stuffing. It smells like delicious because I can smell the banana and the cinnamon. So what I'm going to do is cut a slice, put it on a plate, and show you. When you are using the steamers, don't use sharp knives. Again, it is silicone, so it is soft. If you use a super sharp knife, you can wreck it. We don't want to do that. So I'm just going to use a lifter. Any lifter will do, but I mean, Epicure has a pretty awesome one. It's nice and wide. It's got the same silicone edges. So I'm just going to give it a quick... Apparently my children have decided second breakfast is no longer necessary and they have left the building. So there, you can see there's nice bits of banana in there. I am going to serve this with a little bit of Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. It's got tons of flavor. If you hate Greek yogurt, don't eat Greek yogurt, okay? Anytime I suggest something that sounds absolutely horrible to you, if you don't like it, don't eat it. That's my philosophy with food. If you don't like it, don't eat it. Don't feel you have to cut out an entire food group because somebody else told you that it was bad for you or it would make you fat or whatever. But equally, don't eat something someone tells you to eat just because you don't like it. With the exception, eat your greens. I don't care what kind, but you can't just not eat greens, okay? So if you don't like kale, try rocket and Boston lettuce and something else, but you have to eat greens. Don't cut greens out, okay? Okay. And if you really, really can't, because like you have colitis or some other digestive problem that your nutritionist has told you not to eat raw greens because they irritate everything, okay, I'm okay with that. See, I'm not bullying anybody, but like you do have to eat fruit and veggies. Please, God, don't cut those out. So I'm going to serve this with a little bit of Greek yogurt, plain, unsweetened, not even vanilla flavored. This is homemade, so like there's nothing in here except milk and bacteria culture. Even the vanilla flavored stuff, it's sneaky. People will stop eating flavored yogurts because they are aware of the fact that those flavored ones, one, have tons of artificial colors and artificial sweeteners and loads of sugar. What people forget is that even just vanilla flavored Greek yogurt can have as much as 20 grams of sugar in it. So plain Greek yogurt, if you want vanilla flavored, throw in a splash of vanilla. The herd has returned again, you can hear. So I'm going to do a little bit of Greek yogurt on here. Again, Greek yogurt is, girls, I'm still working. Greek yogurt is high in protein. The difference between plain yogurt and Greek yogurt is that you strained the plain yogurt. So you can buy plain yogurt and stick it in a bowl with a sieve and some cheesecloth and drain some of the extra whey off, and you will have Greek yogurt. The difference is that when you strain off more of the whey, so plain yogurt is sweeter, it does still have more of the fat. The whey has the fat in it, and that is sweeter as well. Greek yogurt, you have drained more of that whey away. And so a lot of the dissolved sugars go with the whey. So Greek yogurt is definitely a tangier flavor. I have learned in my years of making Greek yogurt that the process is that you heat milk up to a certain temperature. You cool it back down to a certain temperature, stir in your starter, your bacterial culture. So I just keep a half a cup of yogurt from the last batch. Stir in your bacteria, cover it back up, insulate it, keep it nice and warm, and let it sit overnight. And the bacteria in your starter yogurt is what works with the warm milk and turns it into yogurt. I have discovered in my adventures with yogurt that the temperature range is important. So you heat the milk to 180, and then you cool it back down to somewhere between 120 and 115 and stir back in your bacterial culture to let it rest. If you let it cool further than the 115, your yogurt will be a different texture in the morning. It is a runnier yogurt, and so when I strain the whey off, I lose more of the volume. And that was just an accidental discovery. And when I went looking, I have learned that the temperature is key. So if you want a thick, creamy Greek yogurt texture, temperature is key so that it strains nicely the next day and you don't lose part of the milk protein and the fat as well as all of the whey. And so it's a process. If it's something you want to learn more about, let me know. I can totally give you the step-by-step on how to make yogurt at home. We haven't bought yogurt in 4 years. It's a bag of milk. With these animals, it's a couple times a week sometimes that we're going through yogurt, but it's a pretty easy process. So here we are. Last step is our dark sweet cherry chia jam on top. The longer you let the jam sit, the thicker it will get. You can put it in the fridge. It gets nice, thick, gooey. I am going to take a bite here so that you guys can see that it is, one, edible and also yum. So, pardon me, here goes. That's good. You can hear my Nana's voice. I'm talking with your mouth full. Thanks for tuning in this morning, guys. Hope you learned something. Hope you have new inspiration for what to do with those sad bread ends and those sad bananas, and a new breakfast idea, because I know people these days especially, breakfast was something that most people weren't having at home, weren't cooking at home, weren't serving a hot breakfast every day. And now that the world is slowly opening back up, maybe we will transition away, but this is also something that you can make ahead. So throw the bread and the egg mixture in the steamer tonight and stuff it in the fridge, and then all you have to do tomorrow morning is give it that 6 minutes in the mic, throw whatever garnishes and accoutrement on top, and you can have a hot breakfast in less than 10 minutes. And I hope that the pace of life is still slow enough that you can find maybe 20 minutes in your day, 10 minutes to make it and 10 minutes to eat it with a nice cup of tea, to have a hot breakfast every day. So thanks for joining me, guys. I always love and appreciate you for participating and watching the antics in my kitchen, and I look forward to cooking with you again next week. Oh, one last thing. If you're interested, I am running a virtual cooking class this week. I currently have 2 hosts in there. I have a couple of new consultants who will be shadowing, learning how to run the business. If you would like an invitation because you saw something today that you would like to learn more about, send me a message and I will add you to the virtual cooking class I'm running this week. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.